Dear friends, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In our previous session, we began discussing the incorrect methods of religious tarbiyah. What we mean by incorrect are those methods that we assume will make our child religious, but in reality, they don't give us the results we're hoping for. And the first method we talked about was the education-based approach. This method is not a good fit. It's not suitable for the child, and it doesn't match the environment as well. What do I mean by giving religious information? Just to be clear, I'm referring to when we as parents or educators sit down, study some religious concepts, values or beliefs, and then we try to pass them on to our kids like something to memorize. We expect them to understand, memorize, and act upon them. It's like we're handing our kids prepackaged religious information. But this doesn't align with how a child functions. Why not? Because children have their own faculty of thinking. They have the ability to judge. How much have you engaged that thinking? Did the child do any of the thinking, or did you just hand them a prepackaged set of values? Did they come to the conclusion that there is a God and that they should worship Him and that they should pray and observe modesty out of gratitude to Him? Or did we just give them all that information straight? Most of the time it's us, the parents, teachers, and mentors who do the thinking. We come to a conclusion and then we just give that to the kids. The child's mind isn't involved. They're not reasoning, reflecting, or reaching those conclusions on their own. They're just passively receiving information. But we never activate the child's own thought process. We're giving them fully baked, ready-made ideas. But true tarbiyah is about engaging a child's inner abilities. Just giving information doesn't do that. It doesn't involve their thinking or reasoning. And then this method also doesn't match the world we live in. Why? Because your child is growing up in a conflicting environment, in a world where many people don't accept these religious ideas. Those challenges and pushbacks that we talked about, they arrive before your child is even ready to handle them. Right now, I'm talking about early childhood, before the age of puberty. Please pay close attention. Yes, there is a time to give your child information. The question is, when is the right time? Now let me go back to the question I asked at the end of the last session. Does this mean we shouldn't talk to our kids about religion at all? That we shouldn't give them any religious information? The answer is yes, you can give them religious information, but under 3 conditions. The first condition is, we need to make sure the information we share isn't vulnerable to attacks. Some religious ideas are neutral in public. If a child speaks about them or lives by them, they won't be mocked. For example, if you raise your child to be organized, courageous, honest, and trustworthy, if you teach them that Imam Ali was just and that we should be just too, nobody's going to make fun of that, right? As long as someone's natural instincts are healthy, they will respect those qualities. Don't introduce information that puts them in the line of attack too early. Let them first develop a sense of defense, then introduce it. Again, I'm not saying never give them religious information. I'm saying wait until the time is right. Religion is like a gold necklace. Would you put a gold necklace around the neck of a 6-year-old and send them into the street? What happens? Can the child protect it? No. Something valuable gets stolen. So first, build up their defenses. Later on in future sessions, I'll explain how to build that strength. Once they're strong, then yes, share religious information freely. Also, let me make a quick point here. Now that we understand that this information-based method is flawed, don't become overly sensitive. If someone else gives your child religious information at home or in the mosque, maybe their grandfather or their uncle, you don't need to immediately jump in and stop it. You don't need to go to your child afterward and say, forget everything you just heard. Just because the method is an ideal doesn't mean we should stop attending religious programs. Remember, it's not 100% wrong. What we're saying is relying only on that method is what makes it incomplete. So don't stress about bits and pieces of religious information they pick up here and there. This was the first condition. The second condition is the information you want to give them must match the child's level of understanding and concern. This is very important. If the content is beyond them, you'll end up simplifying it so much that it becomes shallow. The child just memorizes it, but they don't really grasp it. And when that happens, they can't defend it. The first time someone knowledgeable challenges them, throws a couple of objections their way, they're stuck. Why? Because they just memorized it. There is a big difference between learning something through lived experiences, reflection, and thought versus simply hearing it, accepting it, and memorizing it. You can't defend something that you haven't truly processed. This was the second condition. The third condition is, sometimes the information is appropriate and not likely to bring attacks, and even it's within the level of understanding of your child, but don't give it to them directly. Instead, create a path for them to think and reflect. Give them a chance to understand it through experience and insight. You should design a process, set the stages so your child reaches religious insight through reflection and lived experience. In this case, they won't lose what they learn easily. This is what we are looking for. In our final sessions, I'll go into more details about this fundamental approach to Tarbiyah, inshallah. So stay tuned. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.